everybody, and welcome to the FusionShare podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled to have our guest with us today, special guest. He is, well, you can't even begin to say all the things that he has done, but a lot of folks who follow this podcast will absolutely know him from his amazing work with the group Weather Report. He is none other than the great drummer, percussionist, Alejandro Acuña. Welcome, Alex. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for this wonderful time. And whatever, any question you have, I'm available.
All right. Well, that's terrific. Well, we really appreciate you taking time out. And we were saying before we came on, we were chatting a little bit, and I just love that. I love that photo of you in the background on the wall. It's just classic. That's album cover material right there. It looks great.
It is, yeah, I know. My wife like to use it all the
time. That's great. Now you're based in Los Angeles, and from what we can see in the background, it's a nice sunny day out there in Southern California today.
It is, yeah. I mean, what we call it the San Fernando Valley, and the place where I live is next to Encino. It's called Lake Balboa.
Lake Balboa. Great,
yeah.
great. So, boy, it's funny. I wish I'd had this recording rolling before we actually started, because you and I were chatting about a bunch of fun things. And we know that you are originally, you're from Peru, but there's a great story too, that your connection to an ancient tribe there. Why don't you share a little bit about that? That's fascinating.
Yeah, because see, my real name, like you mentioned before, Alejandro Neciosup, ends on the letter P, Peter, right?
Yeah.
All those last names, they come from a tribe called the Nine Lamps. See, the P and P. And the Nine Lamp is a small tribe from the Mochicas. And the Mochicas are all descendants of Inca descendants, are from the north of Peru, but by the Pacific Ocean.
Yes. So
the place where a lot of Neciosups are is called Lambayeque, and the small city inside Lambayeque is like the state, and the small city, the main city, is Chiclayo. Anyhow, it's a lot of music that came with the cajon, the instrument that I play.
Yes.
It's maybe 12A, 3/4. It can be played on 4, but the feeling is semi-African, but it's not so much. It has a Peruvian feeling, kind of thing, a combination because it's with acoustic guitars, cajon, and they use castanets. It's a mix of a flavor, a flavor, and they dance dressed in white with a handkerchief and hat, and it's so beautiful. I send you later, the music, which I also record an album that I did in the 90s for Peru called Los Hijos del Sol, the son of the sun.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful album that I used all great Peruvian musicians, but I also used solo player was Paquito de Rivera playing clarinet, Wayne Shorter playing soprano and tenor, and Ernie Watts playing saxophone alto, and Justo Almario playing also soprano and flute. So those 4 ones are for me my favorite. Besides Coltrane,
You're right.
My favorite sax player, mainly because my father and 2 of my brothers. By the way, I'm the number 6 of my 6. We are 6 brothers. I'm the small one. I'm the youngest one. And they play. My father was a great musician, played tenor and everything. and my brothers, they wanted to play tenor, guitar, piano, everything. And anyhow, I came from a musical, very musical family, and so I started listening this music from the north, and from the mix of these tribes and tribals, and very much into the my race, And you know what? This is kind of ugly, but it's truth. What I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah.
The only place where I felt racism was in my country
Hmm.
because I was an Inca.
Oh.
Now, opposite to that, Perez Prado brought me in 1964. You know Perez Prado, right? The king of the
Yes,
mambo.
yes, of course.
He saw me play in a TV show. I was 18. He says, I want to bring you to the United States. I said, come on.
Huh.
The United States, they made the drums over there. There's a Buddy Rich group, the Chick Webb, all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
amazing drummers, Joe Morello. Oh no, he said, you're right. But what you play is what I want in my band.
Ah,
So he brought me here, and I was Alejandro Necio Soup using Alejandro Necio Soup, and the reason I'm saying this is because when I came to the United States, this country was the opposite of the way I grew up. They embraced me, they opened their arms, they received me, they accept me, and they love me.
yeah.
I married an American woman. My kids all born and raised, went to school and everything over here. So not that I love my country. Later on, I'm going to tell you more about it because I became a missionary and I did 20 years missions in my country.
Hmm.
But it's a little longer story about it. But I don't tell anyone what I do. My right hand doesn't tell what my left hand does. That kind of a thing. But I don't feel racism because racism is in the person. It's not, you know what I mean? They can
Yeah.
whatever. I say, oh, great. You can call me whatever you want, but I know who I am. Anyhow, and
Yeah.
very strong about that. I don't have any problems with anybody. I can go. I've been all over the world, traveling, never felt anything. But the reason I told you that is just not putting my country down. It's just putting the society, the people that they think that because they're white, they're superior. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Well, we're all familiar with that, and it's so unfortunate and so
I
unnecessary.
know.
And music, I
Okay.
think, often brings back, it bridges the gap with differences, and it includes everyone, particularly the kind of music that you play. And you were mentioning those early roots. I mean, how, we talk about those grooves and ancient beats and music that you grew up with. How far back does that go? That's got to go back a couple of centuries, I would imagine.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Because it was burst in that area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it got a little bit influence with the Spanish and the other migrations that came because since it's on the coast, on the Pacific Ocean, a lot of landing there on boats and and people from all over, and the
Yeah.
whole coast from all the way from the Ecuador all down to Chile. We have
Yeah.
the Pacific coast. Anyhow, so yes, a lot of different migrations, Cubans, Africans,
Right.
Asians, Europeans, all kinds,
Yeah.
and so the music gets a little bit, touch with something that they heard. Oh, this is boom boom. They mix it, but still, the feel of that genre is very special. It's very special
Yeah.
because since you're a musician, you will understand this. The 12/8 had the opportunity, is open to be playing fourth, to be playing three, to be playing six,
Yeah.
to be playing nine,
Right.
right?
Right.
All of those different time signatures in the fourth. So we can be playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that.
Yep.
So the pulses can vary. And that's what I notice that when they start playing, they will mixing all those different time signatures since the music called me, the music, the part of the music that called me was the percussion. I play a little piano, I played trumpet for 6 years. That's how I learned how to read music. My brother showed me. Anyhow, but I noticed that the rhythm, I said, oh, this is rich. This is very rich and very unique.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It's funny, but it's the truth. My country, now that we're talking about music and the rhythms, and it's the only country that I know because I've been all over the world with
Right.
with Weather Report and with Al Jarreau and with Diana Ross because I play with them. Okay,
Yeah.
in my music, you dance in three. The pulse is in three. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right?
Right.
And then you clap in 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it's 4 and 3 right there together. And then they sing in 5. Quintuple. Ta 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 ta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So it's
Yeah.
5, 4, and 3.
Right.
I learned that when I was a kid. So therefore, music became simple to me rhythmically, of course.
Yeah.
I went to study to San Juan, Puerto Rico after I left Perez Prado. I didn't want to go to Mexico. He was going to Mexico. I said, no, I better go to my country because, I didn't came to United States to go to Mexico. I'm sorry. I'm not denigrating any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But musically, I said, no, I can't. I want to grow here. I want to stay here. So, because my English wasn't that good, I said, and I came with a green card from Peru, my permanent residency, and I said, my mother told me that if I live in Puerto Rico, I can keep my residency. So I went to San Juan. It's true because San Juan, Puerto Rico, is an associate state of United States.
Yeah.
The anybody that's born in Puerto Rico is born with a blue passport.
Right.
Yeah, citizenship, American citizenship.
Right.
So that's where I went and studied over there, and I wanted to learn the Caribbean feel and instruments, And I discovered, talking about rhythms and music, and I discovered that if you really understand the Cuban, the Puerto Rican, the Dominican Republic, all the Caribbean rhythms, which is African descendants, you can play anything because of the syncopations.
Yeah.
So the syncopation, to get the right syncopations, that's what Dizzy Gillespie wrote, kind of a 5 phrase in the mambo. Tum tum turum tin turum tin tum con king con king con king con king con king con king. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Dizzy.
Yeah, Dizzy.
Right. Right.
Gillespie,
Sure. Of course.
Amazing. And you see, the rhythms are the one that really kind of change or bring, we'll say,
Yeah.
something, not contemporary, but something different.
Yeah.
Something. So that's my take. And I can continue, all day about this. But
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
no,
everything.
I wish we just had this running all day long. It's fascinating to me. My
Me
my
too.
guest is the great Alex
Alex,
Acuna,
oh,
and Alex. So you came to the United States. You'd mentioned you'd played with a lot of folks. I think even didn't wasn't there a stint with Elvis at one point?
yeah, when I went to Las Vegas, remember I told you that I moved from San Juan to Las Vegas?
Yeah,
And the reason I choose Las Vegas is because in those days I wasn't ready to live in New York trying to find my niche or come to Los Angeles and trying to find my niche, which is, see, being in New York, I wanted to play jazz, like, like Elvin, like Tony Williams, like all of those guys.
yeah,
I said, but I don't have that yet. So I don't know. Anyhow, the reason I didn't stay because I got married very young. So I had 3 children with me living in New York. And that's exactly when I went and joined to the 802 um, Musicians Union,
Union. Yeah, yeah,
802. They changed my name when they say Alejandro Nekiosop. I said, yeah, that's my real name. He said, oh, no, 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 no. Over here, we John Wayne, like something. So, so he said, no, no, Alex Acuña. It's still a little longer, but Alex Acuña. How about that? Okay, Alex Acuña. So that's my. But Acuña is my mother's last name. See
ah,
what happened in South America and in Spain, we don't lose the mother's last name.
right,
We keep it,
right,
you know. And that's why I said, yeah, it's still my name. So it's my professional name, I will say, Alex Acuna
right.
or Acuña. But my passport is Alejandro Nechosup Acuña.
Yeah, that's your
And
soup, Acuña. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and the reason I didn't stay in New York because I said, they're going to box me in here. They're going to send me to play just Latin music. I said, that's not why I came here. I came to play everything. So now, talking about LA, come to Los Angeles, I was actually working in those days in the Playboy clubs. They had a launch, for kind of music, and I was playing with a group in the launches of the Playboy clubs. In New Jersey, I did it for about 3 months. That's when I was living in New York, and then came to Los Angeles, and I said I would like to get into the studios because I already was doing studio work when I was 16, and Perez Prado saw me when I was 18. So I was recording every single day, playing on 2 TV shows and a drummer, a steady drummer to play with everybody that came to the studio in Lima, Peru, because I was able to read music
right.
and play drums. I taught myself how to play drums. I'm still teaching myself how to play drums, but so I had that experience. I said, yeah, I would like to definitely be a studio musician as well. And but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to really be able to. So I'm going to Las Vegas. Las Vegas in those days, I'm talking 73, 74, was so much great musician concept. Frank Sinatra. I played behind Frank Sinatra and everything. I mean, we were in one of those hotels, and they had a place that they put a boat inside the casino. And Frank Sinatra was singing. I came and I'm playing my timbales behind him. In the movie he did. So then I said, okay, I'm going to get to see if I can get into the band. And I didn't audition. They hired me to play at the Hilton International. And the director of the band also was directing Elvis. So when Elvis came, he told Elvis, he said, we have a Peruvian percussionist in the orchestra. He's a drummer, but you have your own drummer, Ronnie Todd. And how about if he plays percussion with you? And Elvis said, I never use a percussionist in my music. Yeah, but I give him a chance, okay? So I play with Elvis.
Yeah,
Love me, baby, love me now,
right.
you know, like,
Yeah.
and we became friends. We became very good friends. Like I
Yeah.
told you before we start talking, you know, I did martial arts. I still do
Yeah.
martial arts, and he was into martial arts. And one day I went early, and he's doing katas with the drummer, Ronnie Tutts. And I told him, I do martial arts. Oh, really? Yeah. So let's do kata. Boom, boom. And then we kind of, you know, train a little bit. And oh, man, you know a lot. Well, I say, you know, I'm a brown belt, but yeah, I've been doing martial arts all my life. You know, when I was playing with Weather Report, then when I joined Weather Report, I was doing martial arts still on the road, you know,
Yeah.
in great shape. And I use my martial arts to play the drummings, you know, like because my
Yeah.
upper body and everything and my
Right.
parents, I wasn't, I'm still am, but in those days, I see the videos of Weather Report. I say, oh my gosh, it looks like Bruce Lee playing drums, you know, kind of. I don't know if you see this 1976 at Montreux Jazz Festival. That was the first
Jocko,
year that
yeah.
Jacko started with us in those
Yeah,
days.
no, that's a great. I've seen that concert, and I was going to bring up about that in the transition of Weather Report when you left to these other musical gigs, and then you went on with Weather Report, which I want to talk about because that there's a clip which we'll share in a moment, but it's when you guys are playing Barbary Coast,
Oh yeah.
and it's cooking, and I'm telling you, you guys, the look, the look on your face, all of you, but you especially, just like you had like left your body or something because you were so happy. And I could just see the whole energy of the let's see, it was the quintet because you had also had Manolo on percussion. You're playing drums and Manolo's playing Manolo Badrena on percussion, and of course with Joe and Wayne and Jocko, and it's just like it's ridiculous. So, Alex, you're saying a little bit about the time, all these people that you played with you. I'm looking at the list, and it's just, it's insane. I mean, it's, all these amazing world class pop and jazz artists. You got Paul McCartney, Joni Mitchell, Ella Fitzgerald, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Chick Corea, Whitney Houston, Carlos Santana, Herbie Hancock. This is Roberta Flack, Ray Orbison, Bette Midler, Sergio Mendes, Lyle Mays, Diana Ross, Sadao Watanabe, Paco de Lucia, all these people. I think I've heard of a few of those people, but 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 this is these are folks you've played with. But really that moment musically when you hit a very special time with Weather Report and you played on those two legendary albums, Black Market and Heavy Weather.
Oh yeah.
And how did they find you? Did you find them? What was the connection there that brought you into the group?
Great. It came from Las Vegas. I was playing one night with Olivia Newton-John. She just came from Australia. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to say it like this, but this is my only interpretation of when I saw her, like a little hillbilly
Yeah.
singer, dun, 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 boyfriend I think was the conductor, and he was playing a small little guitar,
Right.
and I was playing drums, and I, follow. I listen. I love actually still love country western. I mean, I never put it away. Anyhow, and she was opening for the Temptations.
Oh, okay.
So The Temptations come, and this drummer, which is me, switched to play congas. Papa was a Rolling Stone, you know, like that, because they have their own drummer. So I didn't play the drums; I played the congas. And in the audience is Don Alias.
Yes.
He was traveling there with Lou Rolls, playing in the lounges, you know, for a week, 2 weeks. And Don Elias came to see the Temptations, but he saw me playing drums with Olivia Newton-John, and then the same guy went to the congas. So he came and waited for me. He said in his mind, there are only two guys that can play drums and congas at that level. One of them is in Puerto Rico. That must be Alex Neciosoup. And the other one is Walfredo de los Reyes. You know, he just died. Walfredo used to be
Yeah.
before every drummer from Cuba, he was the guy. He was living in New York, studying in New York with Samulano, and went to Havana and playing Havana, and you know, traveling. Spoke both languages really well and played drums and played congas, everything, side rib. Well, he was playing in Las Vegas in the big bands, like I was playing in Las Vegas in the big bands, and so he waited for me down line and said, "You must be Alex Acuña, Alex Neciosoup in those days." I said, "Yes." And I said, "You Don Elias?" He said, "You know me?" I said, "Of course I know who you are." I said, "I follow everybody." And well, blah, blah, blah. We became friends.
Yeah.
The first thing he played me, he took me to his room, was Jaco's album in a cassette.
Yep.
You know, congas and bass, right?
Yep.
And then he played the portrait of Tracy.
Yeah.
I said, "Is that a piano? A Rhodes piano?" He said, "No, no, no, no. That's a bass." No, no, no. Come on. That can't be a bass. Nobody heard a
Right.
bass like
Right.
that before that time.
Right.
Impossible. Impossible. I said, "Oh man, what's his name?" Jaco Pastorius. I play on his album. And Herbie is in the album too. I said, "What?" Anyhow, we became so close. We started jamming every day. Now we went to Walfredo's house, Walfredo Reyes, in the afternoons to just play for a couple hours, you know, the three of us. We became so close. And then Louis Belson was invited. He came and played with us. And then we did a clinic in the university in Las Vegas. In that time, just see the excitement was, Las Vegas was really happening musically. A lot of great musicians, all the best singers, all the best, you know, everybody was there. Said, "Whoa, man, this is paradise over here." And so Don Elias said, "Alex, I know you're a jazz player. The way you play, I can see." I said, "Well, yes, I came to United States to learn how to play jazz. Well, let's form a band." You know who called? David Liebman,
Yeah.
Richie Bayrak,
Yep.
and the bass player, anyhow, a guy. The two of us, five guys. And we start gigging around. I quit the International Hilton, so we start playing in Los Angeles, going to Denver, Dallas, blah, blah, blah. And playing with this band, you know. I was like, because we were able to switch. He can play drums, I play congas or percussion. I play drums, he played the congas or percussion.
Right.
So that's what he wanted. He said, "Man, I never played with a guy that we can switch because I love to play both too." I said, "Great, me too." I said, "This is fantastic." We did 3 months of that. I quit the Hilton, we played all over, and then we came to Los Angeles, we played with Willie Bobo,
Yeah.
incredible timbal player, and he had a band. And anyhow, I was having fun. I said, exactly, this is exactly what I want to be. And money wasn't the issue because, I mean, we get money, but, you know, it wasn't big money. Not, it was just, in those days, the payments were very small. Even Weather Report didn't pay that much, you know. It was jazz. So, you know, you
Right.
had to survive with whatever you get. And so then they decide, say, you know, Alex, we're going to the East Coast because, you know, we have family, we have this, and apartments, the house, and everything. Everybody's going. They're all from New York. I said, okay. So I come home, Las Vegas, and I used to go to walk for walking alone, you know, just thinking, talking to myself, but always had an incredible feeling that something big was coming to me. I've been very spiritual since I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I was always look at the sky and talk to him and ask him and all of that. Anyhow, I came back home. The phone ring is Joe Sawinul calling me. I thought was somebody imitating him. I said, who is this? This is Joe Sawinul. Joe Sawinul? Would you like to play with the band? What band? I mean, I know, you know, I may believe that I didn't know the band, right?
Are you testing them, were you?
He said, weather report. Oh man. I said, I'm dreaming? No, I'm not dreaming. He said, immediately, he said, David Liebman called me, told me about you. And Don Elias also called me and told me about you. He said, you better check that guy in Las Vegas. The band, you probably need him. You probably will use him. Call him up. So he came a couple days later, Joe, to meet me with James Rose. James Rose used to be the road manager for Miles, but Miles was not working in those days. So
Right. Right.
James Rose became the manager for Weather Report. He came with James Rose. We met at the Caesar Palace, and I had a car that somebody left me because my car was broken. So I came with a, you know, Ricky Tingy car, a Ricky Ting. And Joe said, let's go outside. Maybe we can go have some food and we talk. Okay. So he saw my car. He said, this is what you drive? No, no, it's, you know, my car broken, so I'm driving this. And he said, let me see you walk. I said, what? I want to see how you walk. I saw this Alice walking, right? So I said, you saw enough? Come back. So I go back. He's looking at me walking, right? He said, man, you can play. That I said, this is my audition. And then he said, give James Rose the list. We want you to play percussion. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, gave him the list. I came a few days later when he said, bring your passport because we're gonna rehearse 4 or 5 days and then we go to Europe. Okay, so I brought my passport. In those days, I still my green card. You know, came and they put me in a little motel. Blah blah blah. And the money was $450 a week in those days. So anyhow, you say, okay, you know, that's more or less what I was making in Las Vegas. It's okay, but I'm playing with Weather Report. So I go to the rehearsal place. Is Franz Zappa Studios.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's where we rehearse. Everything was set up. Chester Thompson playing drums, Alfonso Johnson playing the bass, and Wayne is writing, you know, just sitting down writing something, music, you know, and Joe. The three of them playing. I said, I never heard music like that before in my entire life. couldn't find one for a minute. I said, where is one? So I'm just kind of listening there, listening. And when I
Mm.
found one, I went up and I started playing with them. We played for about another 10 minutes. And when once in a while, look and continue to run and then look, like that. We finish. Joe comes running to me. Alex, you happening. Thank you for saying yes. Chester said, man, Alex, whoa. I said, wow, my wow is to you. I said, man, the way you playing those drums.
Yeah.
And Slim Johnson, Alex, wow, man. Oof. Now we complete. Okay, great. Wayne come up. And the first thing Wayne tell me is this, Tom, he says, if I were a percussionist, I will play the way you play.
Wow.
So I said, so I'm higher. No, 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 no. We didn't audition you. You were highly recommended. But these guys, we trust them. Don't allow us, and they believe me. They know what's going on. So then we went to Europe,
Mm.
and one of the first videos that we did is 1976 at the Metropole, I think it is, or one of the, how you call it, symphonic theater next to the Wall of Berlin,
Yeah.
1975. I have it on you. I found it on YouTube. I can send it to you.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Wow. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. The playing on that, the same energy. What happened talking about that, Tom? Joe, when he had somebody playing with him, he extracts everything you have. The way he plays and the way he is, his energy, rehearsal, whatever. He plays like that. It's contagious.
Yeah.
You have to follow that. You don't have any other place to go.
Yeah.
That's the only place to go. That was
Yeah.
Joe. And Wayne is the same way. So when they play, whoa, it's like it's the last day they play. It's like, that's the way they treated music.
Yeah. No, it's evident. That era too of that period of the 70s, mid 70s, when you had the bands like Weather Report and Return to Forever and Mahavishnu and the Headhunters and 11th House, all those groups kind of at the same time. And I think that there was a healthy competition, like a challenge, like, come on, I'm doing this, now let's see what you got, but it wasn't in a confrontational way. It was in an inspirational way. And it just seemed like, they'd push each other and inspire each other. Did you
That was
sense
it.
that when you were on the road? Because I'm sure you played shows with those bands. I mean, like there'd be two shows a night or two different bands or something, right?
I have a story about it, and I make it, short.
Yeah.
It was George Duke and Billy Cobham had a band.
Yes.
Alfonso Johnson was playing bass,
Right.
I'm skipping, how Jaco came to the band, right? And then maybe I should get there first. So we doing this session of Black Market, and Alfonso is leaving because he got a solo album recording, proposition, and so he said, I had to write my music, I had to be into yes, I say yes, blah blah blah. So they were Weather Report, because I was still living in Las Vegas. I flew here, and they were auditioning drummers and bass players, but mainly bass players, because I recommend Narda Michael Walden. So Narda played a couple of songs in Black Market,
Yes.
and I was playing the percussion. So the bass player from Canada, from Europe, from England, blah blah blah, they came, and the main thing was the day Joe wrote a song for Cannonball that is in that album.
Yeah.
And it was almost 7 pages long, You know, it's a ballad, but it changed things, changed time signatures, everything. None of the bass players, because Alfonso was not in the band anymore, and then they couldn't play that. You know, and man, who do we get? I said, I know of this guy that Don Alaya play. His record is Jaco Pastores. Jaco, do you have his number? Yeah, I explained everything I heard about Jaco, and they were, oh man, let's call him. I called Don, got Jaco's number. I called Jaco. I put someone on. And Jaco, the first thing he said, I don't audition. If you call me to go and play, I go and work and play, and you pay me and everything. Jaco was a little very direct like that. He said, no, 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 you highly recommended, and we want you in the band. Okay. So he came, and they put Jaco to live with me in my room. So we had two beds. You know, Jaco was my roommate because we didn't have much money to pay for two rooms, you know. So,
Right.
but he did great. So we hang out, Jaco, every day. Healthy and not healthy, very healthy guy. Get up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, jog for about 45 minutes, come back, swim, eat beautiful breakfast, and Alex, follow me, sure, boom, boom. You know, we became very close. And one day, after one tune that we record, two couple tunes that we record, in the evening, he started playing his bass. He put the neck in the door of the bathroom so he can hear acoustically, you know, in the evening, in the room, you know.
Yeah.
So I got my brushes and I start playing in the table, and we start playing all the one shortest tune. You and Jaco says, "That's right. Don Elias told me you play drums. You know all these tunes?" I said, "Wayne is my favorite composer. Tomorrow, let's go early tomorrow, just you and I. The rehearsal start at noon, so we go there by 9:30, you know, and you and I just play drums and bass. Sure." Joe comes by 10 early, 2 hours early, and he saw me playing behind Chester Thompson drums. You know, I'm a little dude, and Chester is tall because the cymbals, you know, Joe could not see who was playing the drum. Who's playing drums? You know, and Alex, you never told me you play drums. I said, well, you know, I was hired as a percussionist, and I don't, no, 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 you know, that's my seat. You
Yeah.
know, I don't show off.
Right.
And no, 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 bring your drums and the percussion. And Jaco said, I want Alex to play the drums. I love Chester, but the style he plays, the style is like Billy Coban. I don't play that style of music. I play like Tony Williams drumming.
Right.
Alex has that touch. So let's let's switch here. So you know they told Chester not to go anymore, and
Mm.
then you know I became the drummer, but that was mainly the situation with Jaco. When Jaco played a song for Cannonball, he was outside with me because it's in California, like you mentioned, sunny day. You know, he took his shirt off and just sit on the car like that. You know, wanted to be sunbathed. You know, and Jaco, come on. And we saw the bass player leaving, a guy that he putting his bass in the trunk of the car and leaving. And Jaco went inside, put big glasses, huge, to read the music, open the 7 pages, you know, three music stands, and side read it. And the listen to that song in the recording. That's the first take. He
Wow.
side read it, and everything that he played, it was from him right there. We did another take, but Joe said, no, we got it. The first one,
First one's it. The Cannonball first track, first take.
that's the one is in the album.
Yeah, that's
That was,
amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So then,
That,
to answer the other question, we went to Europe for about 2.5 months, all over. One charter plane, 3 or 4 bands sometimes. Harry Hancock, Headhunters, Billy Coban with George Duke, Shakti with John McLaughlin, and
yeah.
Weather Report. And Joe is very smart. Joe said, no, we play first because by the time the third band comes, everybody's sleeping. They're smoking a lot of dope and drinking. They don't listen to the music anymore. So we play first. We play first all the time, right? And that's what they did. And one day we in the plane, and Billy Coban told the pilot, please don't make any mistakes because if this plane goes down, United States won't have any more jazz musicians.
Oh, jeez.
I heard me yell from it. What are you talking? You?
Wow.
Come on, man! Don't say anything like that. We are laughing, but some people got scared. All laughing, they got serious.
Yeah.
I was scared. I know that he was just joking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Everybody's on this plane, right? Everybody that's funny. That's
That
funny.
was funny. So, man, we have incredible moments. Sometimes we stay listen to the old band. Sometimes we just left, but we travel together. And you were right. The camaraderie, the friendship. There was no competition,
Yeah.
but there was a respect.
Right.
Definitely
Right.
honoring seniority. I will say.
Yeah.
In this case, Wayne and Joe are seniorities,
Yeah.
I mean, amazing everything, composers, whatever. And so the very last concert, also I got a recording of the very last concert was at the Odeon something in London, and the two bands that I think we all played, but Billy and I share this same drum set. So everybody kind of jam in the last tune with Weather Report. Gibraltar, pom 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 pim pom 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 pom. Gibraltar, right?
Yep.
Gibraltar, yeah. And so I'm playing the drums, and then Billy comes and play, and then I play. When Billy came, and Slim Johnson, Alfonso played the bass, and then when I played the drums, Jaco got the bass, and things like that. We were switching, and amazing. Diana, what's the name of that actor?
Anthony Hopkins?
Anthony Hopkins was there.
Oh, wow.
He's a jazz pianist.
I don't think I knew that. Is he really?
Yeah.
No kidding. I knew Dudley Moore obviously was a great jazz pianist, but I didn't know that Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
How do I know? I'm gonna switch now because I also played in the Oscars and I play on the movie soundtracks in Los Angeles. Now we'll
Yeah,
talk about
I
that
know.
later.
Amazing.
He was, and I went down because I had the pass,
Yeah.
and he was talking to one of the composers, James Newton Howard, and James Newton Howard say, "Hey, Alex, come over here." And he introduced him, "This is Anthony Hopkins," and Anthony said, "I know you." I said, "When did we met?" No. I saw you. And he described that night, and he said, "I saw you and Billy was switching drums, and the bass players were switching bass, and you playing Gibraltar, and I was there. I saw the very last note. Wow, what an incredible evening! Blah 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 blah." I said, "So do you love jazz?" I said, "I play a little piano," and Anthony, the Howard said, no. He's a great musician, And anyhow, that's how I knew that he was there.
Yeah.
So I searched for that recording and I got it.
That's something. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
I owe you two videos.
That's great. That's great. My guest, of course, is the great Alex Acuna, Alejandro Acuna, and boy, yeah, this has been. We could talk all day, Alex. It's so
Oh
much
man.
fun. I love hearing the stories. I hope someday, the next time I get out to LA, we get together and
Oh
have
please.
have some lunch, and I'll just listen all day long. I just love it. I absolutely love it.
Anytime, anything, believe me, even if you just want to chat and
That'd be great. No, that would be
we have
great.
the
You know, we
numbers.
were we were talking earlier, and before we recorded, and I was telling you about these. Where are they? Over here. These instruments here from Greece, and you said that you'd been to Greece a few times, and told me that your wife has Greek heritage as well. The music there is so interesting and ancient, and we try to I try to infuse a little bit of it into the group we have, our fusion band. But the reason I bring up our band is for one reason only, and that is you guys, when we grew up in the 70s and 80s, uh, we would hear bands like Weather Report. We go to see Chick and Herbie and all these guys, and Joe, and we would see these players, and there was such an energy when you'd walk into the performance hall, whether it be a theater or an arena or whatever it was. It was palpable. You could feel before anybody took the stage. We were, as musicians, we were all young musicians, very young musicians.
Right.
We were so excited because you could feel the energy. It was like a prize fight. It was like you were going to see a heavyweight fight or something,
Yes.
right? And it was just like you just could feel it, and it was so exciting. And then you guys would take the stage, and it would be like, oh man! And the minute the concert was over, you know what we wanted to do? We wanted to go back to our place and play. That was like the first. That was we wanted. Now we wanted to play. We weren't going to play like you guys, but we were so inspired to
There you
play
go.
music. And here I am at my age now, at 62 years old, and I'm still playing with my group. And I owe it to you and all those guys because it was such an inspiration, an influence. It had great impact. And all other words that start with the letter I, and just it was really, really powerful. And I just think that it was. I could speak for all our viewers that we thank you
Oh, you're welcome.
for everything that you've given us as a musician, and many more years to come. And it's just great. I got to tell you, we really, really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, thank you so much. Really an honor for me to be able, to tell this wonderful time that I had in life, and
Yeah.
you're writing so many things, the energy of those musicians, I mean, they actually created styles of music, all of them.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
And
they
I
did.
mean, forever, that music, that's it. That's what they created. And
Yeah.
and then just to be part of that. Look at me. I mean, I came from Peru with a vision, though, with a
Yeah.
vision and prepare myself in many different ways. And I was accepted in the industry in many different ways as well, and continue to be, because now, like I told you, I also play in most of the movies, with John Williams and everybody else
Yeah.
and Dudamel, Gustavo Dudamel, with the orchestra, LA Phil Orchestra, and just being able to play different with these also master musicians, composers and directors and everything. So just to say that I love music so much, even if I retire from working, like my father said at the very beginning when we were growing up, he told us, he says, a real musician never stop playing
That's right.
until the end.
Right. That's right.
I practice every day. I practice every single day. I get up early, but I don't practice like 8 hours, 7 hours. No, no, no. I go play 45 minutes an hour. Okay, great. Later I go 2, 3 hours later, but again, things like that. But I keep, my my gift in a good standard and good place. I want to honor the one that gave me the gift. She's God. And that. And this other thing before I say goodbye, I share my faith with Joe, with Jaco, with Wayne, with Manolo, and they got to see it. They saw miracles. And to make the long story short, Joe, before his wife died, he used to invite me every Saturday to see the fights because he was into fight.
I know he was boxing.
He,
Yeah, he
he,
loved to box.
he was
Yeah.
in his 70s, still boxing, really good
I've seen the
technique.
videos. I've seen the videos of him hitting the speed bag.
Oh yeah, he was a real thing,
Yeah.
and and he knew that I was a Christian. Say, Alex, pray for my wife. Sure, every Monday we pray on the phone, and then on Saturday we see each other. I took my family, we saw the fight, we play music, did barbecue. We were very close, Joe and I, in many different ways. I share my faith with Wayne as well. And Jaco told me that he went to Catholic school all his life. And Wayne said that he stopped going to church when we became 17, but he used to go to Sundays, every Sunday you know, to a church. And I said, yeah, the reason is my mother showed me that when I was very young and stayed with me. And it's good for the soul and the spirit, things like that. So that is the thing that made me really to feel accomplished, that I share music, life, friendship. We were family. Every time we went to Europe for 2, 3 months, we were like a family. We eat together. We have a lot of discussions as well, and all of that together. We spend time together, 24 hours together, playing, traveling, eating, sound check, rehearsing, writing, whatever. We were, and very open, talking about our children, all of that, our families and story, history, and everything.
Yeah.
So when you play with people like that and are so powerful, I never played with any band like that before
Yeah.
or after.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible
Yeah.
because those are giants in the
Yeah.
music. You know.
They were giants. You were all giants and are. And it's it translated really to the receiver, to the listener, to the viewer, to the people in the audience that were taking it in. And it was a communal experience. It was shared, and it was something that it lives on, not only through listening to the recordings or watching the live concerts on YouTube or whatever, but it continues in other musicians. Just as in the early days where Joe listened to Duke Ellington, and hearing all that stuff. I read the stories where he saw, was it Stormy Weather was his favorite movie when he saw, back in Austria. And, it was those kinds of things, it continues. It's an ongoing wave of just receiving, giving, receiving. And here we are today. And I don't know, I know you've heard this a million times. The greatest moment, but the greatest compliment of my life was a young kid came up to me after we played. And he said, I stopped playing piano about four years ago. He says, I think I'm going to start playing again.
Oh,
And
wonderful!
that's like, that's it. That's all you need in life, right?
Oh
it's
man!
it's the greatest. And that's how I felt about you guys forever. It's like I never wanted to quit. A lot of people say, "Oh man, I heard that. I heard John McLaughlin play guitar and I wanted to quit." And it's like, no, 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 no. It should make you feel like you want to play,
There you go.
and
You mentioned inspirations,
that's right.
That's what it is.
That's it. That's it.
Because music is not a competition. It's not.
Right.
No, you can't
Right. No,
compete. Everybody's different. Everybody has something to offer in the art to the art.
100%.
Yeah.
My guest today, of course, the great Alex Acuna. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Love to have you on again. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening right here on the FusionShare podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and we'll see you again soon. So long, everybody.